you may still be reeling after what many are calling a historical election. November 5th, 2024, Donald Trump was elected president for a second time. Not only is Donald Trump the president, but both the House and the Senate are being led by the Republican Party. And so many of you might be thinking, okay, I'm in the housing market. I want to buy my first home, or I want to sell my home. What does all of this election news mean for me? In today's video, we are going to be talking about 5 factors that are typical after an election season and how they are going to impact you, whether you're in the market to buy a home or to sell a home. No matter what your real estate goals are for this year, probably 2025, we are going to cover them in this video so that you are informed and ready to make the best decision for you and for your family. So let's get into it. My name is Persia. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button and to tap the bell for notifications so that you can be alerted whenever there is new content to the channel. I am a local Maryland realtor, and every day I get calls, texts, and emails from people just like you who are thinking about making a move, whether it's relocating to a different home in Maryland or whether it's relocating from a different state, and I absolutely love it. So whether you're looking to move in the next 9 days or 90 days, please make sure to reach out to me and to my team. We would absolutely love to help you make a smooth transition. You can call us, text us, email us. We could set up a video call, and it would be our absolute pleasure to help you make the transition to Maryland. Okay, so factor number 1 to consider when you are thinking about what the housing market's gonna do during or immediately after an election year is the fact that there could possibly be a downturn or slowdown in the market. Historically, buyers can be very indecisive around election time. A lot of times they might want to wait to know the results of the election in order to make such a huge decision like purchasing a house. And I know from my own experience, I've had clients who prior to the election, they were out, they were hunting, they were ready, and then they were like, we want to see who wins before we decide to move forward with purchasing a house. It's a big decision, and I can certainly understand wanting to wait to know what's going on before making those moves and spending all of that money. So because of this indecision, because of buyers being a little bit more indecisive, it may seem like sales of homes are slowing, that there might be homes on the market that are staying for longer than what had been normal or typical. So if you are a person selling your home, just know that if your home right now is on the market and it's not being snapped up as quickly as you thought that it would, please know that that's normal. Now, if you're a buyer and you're looking for a home to buy, be aware that this indecisiveness also applies to sellers. They might have been raring to go, ready to put their house on the market, but then the result of the election may have made them hold back, or they're not ready to list yet. So if it seems like there is not as many homes coming onto the market, that's could be a reason why. And another thing to think about is elections are held in November. And so right now, this is the Monday before Thanksgiving when I'm filming this. So we're right around the holidays, and it's actually a typical time of year where things really start to slow down. So that's another factor to consider as well. The number 2 thing to think about real estate market after an election is that there may be a post-election bounce. Data from the Department of Housing and Urban Development, as well as the National Association of Realtors, shows that after elections, we usually see an increase in home sales. In fact, home sales have increased after the past 9 out of 11 elections. So that shows that usually once people kind of get over the initial shock of who gets elected, home sales will bounce back. With this in mind, it's still important to recognize that we are not quite in a normal housing market. Those post-COVID interest rates that were super low, people got rates lower than 3%. That has caused people to want to hold on to those. They don't want to trade them in for a 6.5% rate, which right now is right about the average. So that means we're dealing with an inventory shortage, and that's still the name of the game. So we will see the housing market increase again, but it's really going to increase once we see interest rates go down, which I'm hoping is sooner rather than later. The number 3 thing that we normally see after elections is that home prices generally will remain stable. Typically, election years do not disrupt home prices. In fact, the National Association of Realtors has done studies that show home prices have increased every year after an election, except for 2008 when there was a housing market crash. The number 4 thing to think about regarding the housing market after an election is how interest rates may be impacted. The Federal Reserve recently cut its benchmark interest rate, so that really signals that there could be additional interest rate cuts throughout the next year. So we will have to see what happens with that. If the interest rate drops translate into mortgage interest rates going down, ideally that would mean that all of those sellers who have those super low interest rates might jump off the fence and decide that they are finally ready to sell. And so that would be a great thing because that's going to increase the amount of inventory of available homes on the market, giving buyers a lot more choice. The number 5 thing to think about after an election is the fact that politics and the Federal Reserve are just 2 pieces of the puzzle. There are so many other factors that go into what's going on with the housing market that we need to remember. Also important is the overall economy. When people feel confident in what's happening in the economy, they feel confident enough to make a large purchase like buying a home or selling a home. Inventory is another important factor. We have seen in the recent years that inventory has been a challenge. People are holding on to those low rates. And so just because whoever won the election doesn't necessarily mean that people are going to rush to put for sale signs in their home. It's still going to be a process. And we still in Maryland have a critical shortage of inventory, homes available to buy. The employment rate is also a really important factor to the housing market too. When employment is high, people have money, people have jobs, people can buy houses. So that's another important factor to consider when we're thinking about the housing market. Location is another big factor. There are some parts of Maryland, some parts of the county, some parts of the United States where houses are selling like hotcakes, and there are other parts of these areas where the market is super slow. So location is also a really big factor to how the housing market is working. And the last factor to consider is age and condition. No matter what's happening in the market, those factors are super important to getting your home sold. Newer homes in great condition are likely going to sell faster than homes that are in disrepair, are not in good condition. So those are factors to consider as well. So what's the bottom line? The bottom line is yes, elections and politics do have an impact on the housing market, but it's not the only thing that has an impact on it. So hopefully all of this information was helpful to you. If you are thinking about making a move in Maryland, please reach out whether you're thinking about selling a house or buying a house. My team and I would absolutely love to chat with you, help you through that transition, make it as easy on you as possible. You can feel free to call us, text us, email us, set up a video chat, and it would be our pleasure to help you. You can reach out to us. All of our information is in the information box below, so feel free to reach out to us, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.